My name is VangieBuell, and I was born in San Pedro, California in 1932, and I now reside in Berkeley, California. My connection to the Filipino community was started with my grandfather, who joined the Tennessee Volunteers here at the Presidio to go over to the Philippines and fight in the Spanish-American War. And from there, he stayed on in the Philippines through the Philippine-American War and married a Filipina and had 3 daughters, and one of them was my mother. And that's how my history started. At any rate, when my grandmother died, he married another Filipina and brought her over here in 1928. And that's how my family got started, because my step-grandmother, whom he married, raised me as from a young child to adult. My grandfather came from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he was escaping from the racial discrimination and the terrible life there as an African American. And he felt that by going to another country, that he could start over and have a new life. And when he got to the Philippines, he had a really terrible time, because the Caucasian soldiers treated them as savages, and because of that, he identified very strongly with the Filipino soldiers, and he did not want to shoot them or kill them. He felt a strong affinity with them because they were considered savages by the Caucasian soldiers. So, at any rate, when he decided that he was going to be able to stay there and live among the Filipinos, he learned all of the different dialects. He learned about 8 of them. He spoke Chinese, Spanish, and fluently, and about 7 to 8 dialects. And he learned the Filipino customs. He loved the food, and he loved the people. And he stayed on, along with 100 other Buffalo soldiers, for the next few years till 1928, before returning here to the United States. The soldiers he was with, the 100 of them that stayed behind, because there were 6,000 Buffalo soldiers that went over, and 100 stayed behind, and he was one of the 100, and many of them lived with him in the Philippine provinces and brought Filipino wives back. And they brought them here in the 1920s, early 1920s, and that started the Filipino community here in Berkeley and Oakland. These were the wives of the of the African American Buffalo soldiers, and that's how I got connected.